Welcome back to Inside the Huddle. I'm Mike Joseph, and Lafayette coming off a huge win against Sacred Heart, getting things back on track. But now it comes down to Holy Cross and a team that's going to travel down here from Worcester. They are very good. They're 2-0 in the Patriot League, and this may come down to overtime. So we're going to kind of put the X's and O's beside. We're going to explain a little bit of what overtime looks like. The last time Lafayette played an overtime game was last year against Colgate. They lost in the overtime 7-3. They ended up losing the football game. And you have to go back to 2017 to look at Lafayette's last overtime game previous to that against Bucknell, where they lost as well. So Lafayette's going to have to be good in overtime. This game may come down to it. Holy Cross has had a few games as well that have come down to overtime. So overtime right now, certain rules. It always starts with a coin flip. The game's tie. When the coin is flipped, normally the team that wins the coin flip will choose defense. So if they choose defense, basically what that means is they're going to go on defense first. The other team gets to choose which end of the field they want to play at. So if Lafayette wins the toss and they go on defense, they're going to face the offense from the 25-yard line and in, and that team has a chance to score, kick a field goal, do whatever. But after that, Lafayette will get a possession. So at this point in time, it's so important to score first. You want to basically run the football. You want to get positive plays. I always talk about overtime. It always comes down to 1st and 10. 1st and 10 is a huge play, whether you pick up 3, 4, 6, or whatever. What you have to avoid is the negative plays. Any negative plays in overtime puts you in a field goal situation. So it's very important to score first and run the football. That's where I give Lafayette the advantage. So if Lafayette had the ball first, they did a great job this past week getting Jamar, getting him on the perimeter, getting him to bounce plays. Jamar is a perfect red zone type of guy, a guy that can pick up yardage when there's nothing there. So again, very important to run the ball, obviously score first and create plays. So now say both teams scores and they both score 7 points in overtime. You go to a second overtime and you flip ends. So we would go to the other side of the field, and if Lafayette had won the toss, they're going to go on offense then, and then obviously the team would go on defense. So you go back and forth. If everything's tied after a second overtime, you move the ball down to the 3-yard line and both teams go for 2-point conversions. Now, we've seen Lafayette with a couple of 2-point conversions be successful, a couple not. So your coaches need to have more than one 2-point conversion. You may use one during the game. You may have to use one in overtime. So again, each possession matters obviously right away. You're allowed to have, after 2 overtimes, you go down to the 3-yard line. Again, the fades for Lafayette have been good. The slants for Lafayette have been good, and they can run the football. So those are huge. You also get 1 timeout per overtime. So again, might come down to that, putting the ball on the 25, and that may come down to who leads the Patriot League forward, moving forward coming this Saturday. 1:30, Holy Cross. Maybe look for a tight game, and overtime, Lafayette comes away with a win.